Hello everyone. So today I'll be teaching you guys what are the stages in construction project. So first of all, you need to know what are the types of buildings. So normally what happens, if you know what is the types of building according to NBC, that is National Building Code, there will be some kind of like PDFs that you can find from say online to Google. That is National Building Code book, where they'll define a lot of things about characters, what are the things required. I mean, for the building or many other things too there, like about the pedestrians, about the slopes, about the steps, what about the building style, landscape, everything. You take anything about a building, you can get it from NBC, that is National Building Code book. So that is how it works. Next is in NBC, they have defined some of the things about buildings. So there is like a residential building, educational building, institutional building. Residential building is like lodging and rooming services, rooming houses, like maybe for a guest or something like that. If you're going to build a house, it turns to be a residential building. One or two family private dwelling, like where they stay together. Dormitories, or dormitories like if someone is going to come and stay, like maybe PGs. Paying list or something like that. Apartment buildings are like the ones who where we give to the rent. We find a tenant, so we give it these apartment buildings. Then comes hotels. Hotels are like normally like villas, or you take bungalows or something like that. No, all those comes under this residential building. Then comes the educational building. Educational buildings, if the school up to senior secondary level, the minimum of 20 students should be there. For other institutions, training institution, if up to 100 students, then we consider that to be an educational as a building, educational building. Then comes the institution, hospitals, sanctuary, custodian institution, penal and mental institution. See, normally what happens in India is whatever the government buildings are there, right? All those things we take consider to be institution because when you even check the IS code books, when in IS code book they have mentioned us about this, like the live load. So if you guys have observed it, when it comes to a residential building, it is like 3 kN per meter square is a floor load. But when it comes to normal, a bigger building, it turns to be 4 kN sometimes, and sometimes it even 5 kN or more than that. So you guys have seen that because it is an educational building, educational building, institutional building, that changes. Okay, so that is the reason you guys need to remember that. Next comes the auditorium, assembly buildings. So assembly buildings are like they can take it as somewhere where a lot of gathering will be there. So if stage one in D1 it is like stage plus more than 1,000 members. So if stage plus less than 1,000 members, no stage more than 300 persons. So no stage less than 300 persons. Like here, no stage more than 300%, no stage less than 300%, and other assemblies like stadium, circus, or assembly buildings like maybe you take, stadium, circuses. That is what comes to my mind right now. So if you have any, let me know. You can just comment in the YouTube message option. Next is businesses. So businesses has shops, stores, market. These are like commercial things, right? Commercial things that works on these businesses. Then comes mercantile. Mercantile is like shops or stores, market, the same thing once again. But underground centers more than 500 meter square. The area, if it is more than 500 meter square when it comes to in mercantile, if it comes to underground and centers. So that is that. Then comes industrial low hazard areas, moderate and high hazard. See, normally what happens in industrials are like, you guys can say that there'll be some kind of a foundation design. So people say there is a machine design, something like that. And these are very important when it comes to industrial building, because we can't say in what kind of I mean RPM, what kind of a speed the machine will be moving, and according to that we need to design the building. And if it is a low hazard building, it's fine. When it comes to moderate or high hazard, we should be very careful, and we should go for a structural engineer for that. So that is what important thing that comes to this industrial thing. Then comes storage, depots, garage, warehouses. See, what happens is storages like you guys can see a petrol pump. Petrol pump, the storages are at the underground. Yeah, right. So underground, we should be very careful when it comes to this one. We should be very careful of designing the underground area where, I mean, channels or maybe a storage where you can store the petrol, diesel, or something like that. Because these are the things. If it is getting leaked, the whole area will be demolished. I mean, it will blast or something like that. There will be a big disaster. So should be very careful when it comes to storage. Then hazardous, LPG, fireworks, ammunitions. See what happens. Ammunitions are normally when it comes to military things. These comes to a picture. Then comes fireworks. Fireworks are like crackers. All those things comes to picture. LPG gas. When it comes to gas, that comes to picture. So wherever we are going to place these things, we should be very careful. But these are the types of buildings that comes in NBC. So these are the 9 types. Next comes stages in construction projects. So what normally happens is there are 3 types. Okay, pre-construction, construction, and post-construction. In pre-construction, so first of all, a client will tell his concepts to us. Then we'll plan, I mean design. Then we'll plan it accordingly. Then we give award of the contract. Like we give them the work that we have done, and we ask them the suggestion if they have any ideas, if I want to add it or something like that. Then comes construction. Construction is execution, where the execution should be done by a civil engineer, uh, a guy who has good knowledge about it. Then comes monitoring and control. We should remember the one thing, we should always follow NBC codes, IS code books when it comes to these construction and all these areas, because the very important thing is we need to follow the standards when it comes to uh, the work. So that is one thing. Monitoring and control, we need to monitor and control how the cement will be placed, what are the things that we looked at, what are the things that we should work on, how it should be like. All those things are the very important thing when it comes to monitoring and control. Then project commissioning. Project commissioning is like how are we going to assign the work to people, how are we going to proceed the work, how are we going to work on it, all those things. So all those things matters when it comes to project commissioning. Next is post-construction. How did the operation go? Like, how is it going? Are we going to close the project this year or this month? How is it going to be like? What are the pending works? All those things comes to this post-construction projects. Now I'll be explaining you the phase-wise projects. So the first one, pre-construction. What normally happens is project initiation. We define the need, access, visibility. We ask the person, the client, what is his project initiation like? How does he want it to be like? Then we ask him the cost. I mean cost and estimation, like how much does he want to pay for to us. Then it comes to the location. See, when it comes to a location, if there is a irregular place, we need to place the building such a way that the whole place will be covered thoroughly. Like there won't be any kind of like space, extra space, or that is left over or something like that. So we should be very careful when we are going to design a building or something. When it comes to a normal square building or rectangular building, if you have a square plot or rectangular plot, it is easier. But when it comes to this one, we need to be very careful. We should design such a way that we cover the whole place and without distracting the structural point of view also. You should remember that. Then we prepare the blueprints and plans according to the site. Then we go with the legal documents. See, there are a lot of documents that needs to be submitted to your own MNC. I mean, and what happens is wherever you guys are in, you guys need to provide the documents to your village officer, or many document works needs to be done when it comes to permits. So all those two needs to be done, and analyze safety and environment. See what happens in some of the places will be like it won't be in a proper a site or something. Maybe the site won't be in a proper position where you can lay the building or something like that. But still, you should make it in a possible way where the building can be laid. So accordingly, the precautions should be taken. Everything should be looked at. All those environments needs to be thoroughly worked on, and it should be such a way that the workers, if they're going to come, it shouldn't hinder in them in any way. So that is one thing. Then comes bidding and hiring process. See, bidding and hiring process, what happens is whenever you have uh, a company, you don't have to do this hiring process once again. You have your own team and it'll work on that. Or else if you're starting your own company at first, you need to hire the people. And according to the projects, example, there will be a file foundation work or something like that. Or maybe if there is any work something that is related to any other specification that you guys are not good with, you need to hire some of the people. So that is very important thing. Example, when it comes to a structure, you need to hire a structural engineer. When it comes to a designing purpose, you need to hire an interior designer or an architect. And there are a lot of other things too that comes to hiring process. Then comes bidding. When it's a project of a government project or something like that, the very important thing is bidding. The low you go, you get the project. So that is one thing. Then comes construction. So first of all, as I've told you, excavation is required. The footing should be placed such a way that once excavation is done, we can place footing. Then comes structural base and skeleton. That is like the footing, whatever you guys are placing. So here the column will come, all these things like this, and accordingly whatever the plumb bob required, or whatever the measurement to be required, whatever the center line, all those things comes to this. So then walls and floors, or whatever the top areas that you can see in the building, the walls or roof, all those comes to structural work. So site preparation, foundation, structural work, then MEP, electrical, plumbing, all those things comes to picture. Then comes interior design, the paint, how to choose the paint, flooring, fixtures, those all comes to the picture. Then is quality control, inspection should be done, standards should be maintained, IS code should be followed. That is what I'm trying to tell you. IS code is a very important code when it comes to a standards. So that is one thing. Inspection is like you need to have some kind of checklist. You guys need to prepare checklists, so that will be easy for you. Whenever you go to the site, you can just, if you have a checklist, you can just mark it down, whatever are required, or whatever are done, something like that. And protocols and regulations should be followed. See, when it comes to your own place, or your place, or you need to follow your own place rules and regulations whenever you're working on any project. So that is one. Then comes final inspection, that is post construction. After the construction, we need to see how the work went well or something like that. Verify the system as per the requirement, as per the drawing, as per the see, the normally what happens is as per the drawing you need to work on, and if there is some small changes or something like that, have you done that changes, all those things should be the final inspection. Example, if you have laid the tiles, or whether you have laid it in proper way, whether you have put the grout, all those things. Normally this comes in the process of construction itself. You need to be very careful about it. And the very important thing when it comes to civil engineer is you should know how to rectify the problem. Rectifying the problem is a very important key when it comes to site work. So that is one thing. Next is identify and fix deficiency. If there is any kind of like problems in the work or something like that, you need to fix it. So that is one thing. Owner training, equipment or operation guidance. See, what happens sometimes is in the rainwater harvest, we fix a rainwater harvesting or something like that. Client won't know how to use it or something like that, or if we have given some tank or something like that, and he doesn't know where the water comes from, how all those things, whatever the requirements or whatever the work you have done in the site, you need to explain him how it is going to be, like how it is going to be used, where are the switches, where are the main switch, everything should be given. Then is the closet manual and warranties. Whatever the work you have done, wherever you have work done, example, if you have worked electrical work, plumbing work, rainwater harvesting, everything, wherever there is a manuals given or warranties given, submit it to them. They need to have it, because once they have it, if there is any kind of a problem in future, they can give it and get the warranty fixed up. Like using the warranty, we can fix it. Next is handover. The client takes possession. See, what happens is once the project is done, the very important thing is we give it to the client. We see their happiness. We see their way of happiness, how we have worked on. Once you understand how we have worked, they'll be really happy with that. We should make them happy as much as possible. Normally, what happens is it depends on the people. Normally, some of the people will be very happy with the work. Some of the times it will be like they'll be like, oh, this is there, this is there, this was there. There was I wanted this one thing to happen. But that is the reason I always say when it comes to first process is like whatever they want, you document it first, so that in future you can say these are the things that you have asked for and we have done accordingly. All those things. Okay, so let's try making them happy in one or the other sense. So that is one thing. Then comes the post occupancy evaluation. So we need to give the feedback to them, review, all those things should be done. So this is how you do it. And all these are the processes that comes to construction. And if you felt the video was useful to you, please do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.